This HD grill guard will be a premium option in the brush guard category, offering a ton of front end protection, all for right around that $550 price point. It will include heavy duty 304 grade stainless steel throughout, including the vertical supports here, the punch plate, in addition to the grill guard itself, while everything will be finished in a durable satin black powder coat. Now your installation will be a bit tricky due to the weight of this thing, so let's figure 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and a little bit more on that later in the video. So when shopping for your different brush or grill guard options here on the site, you're probably going to notice that at first glance, they all appear to be very similar from one model to the next. And sure, while there is an element of truth to that statement, there will be some subtle differences between models, and nowhere is that more evident than with this HD here. Now for starters, I do believe this HD here does offer the most protection amongst some of the others in the category from a sheer coverage standpoint. For example, you're getting complete coverage from that hood line down to the bumper while ranging from edge to edge of the grille area. Now, furthermore, guys, to add to that protection, they fortified things with these twin angled bars up here, thick steel punch plate or mesh, so you're getting a bunch of front end protection to the vital grille and radiator area, both on and off road. From there, of course, you do have your traditional headlight coverage area, which does mimic the lines of the newer 2015 headlights, but they've taken things a step further by adding these bars here, which again are just going to give you a little bit more coverage and protection overall. Again, the entire guard has been constructed using burly stainless steel and then finished off in this satin black powder coat. Now, a couple quick things to keep in mind here, guys. For starters, if you do have a forward-facing camera, the guard will certainly impair the view out of the front camera, so just be aware of that before pulling the trigger. Now, the guard does mount using the tow hook location. However, the tow hooks can still be used once the guard has been fully installed, so no worries on losing those. But let's switch gears and talk about the installation a little bit more. An obvious statement of the day here, guys, this thing is heavy, so just make sure you have a buddy on hand before getting started. But without further ado, here is a detailed walkthrough of the install.
Tools required for this install: 3/8 drive impact, 3/8 drive extension, a 13mm socket, a 16mm socket, an 18mm socket, a 13mm wrench, and a 17mm wrench.
First step of this installation, we're going to attach the lower brackets to the frame rail. If you have tow hooks, you'll need to remove those. If you don't have tow hooks, you'll need to take this plastic panel off and trim that. Since we already have our tow hooks removed, we're going to get started. First step, we're going to take this nutsert plate, we're going to insert it inside of the frame. Once you have the nutsert plate lined up with the holes, we're going to take our bracket, place our bracket up there. We're going to use the provided hardware, place a lock washer and a washer, and then we'll get these bolts started. Once you have both of those in, we're ready to get the other side in. Same thing with the other side. We want to get our nutsert plate installed inside the frame. And we're going to place our bracket up. We have a lock washer and a washer on each one of the bolts. And then we'll get those two started. So now that we have the bottom brackets on, we're ready to install the top brackets. Behind here, there's going to be a bolt that you need to remove from the upper section of the frame. We're going to go ahead and insert our bracket in there, and then we'll access and install the bolt from underneath. You're going to use a long bolt with a lock washer and a washer. So now that we have all 4 of our brackets on, we're ready to install the grill guard. I'm going to have 2 helpers help lift it up while I insert the bolts. So using the hardware provided, you're gonna have a bolt, a washer, insert it through the hole, and then we're gonna place another washer and nylon lock nut. So we're going to use our bolt, washer, insert it through the outside towards the inside, another washer, and a nylon lock nut. Bolt, washer, through the inside, another washer, and a nylon lock nut. Now once we have all 4 of these in, we're going to go ahead and do the top mounts. Now for these upper brackets, we're going to use the hardware provided. We're going to have a bolt, a washer. We're going to go through the outside to the inside. And then same thing, we're going to add another washer and a nylon lock nut. And we'll do the same on the other side. So now that we have all of our brackets bolted to the grill guard, we're going to go around and tighten everything up. These bottom 4 are going to use a 17mm wrench for the nut and a 16mm socket for the bolt head. Gonna do that, and then we can tilt it to our desired angle, and then we'll tighten the bottom one up. Gonna do the same thing on the other side, tighten these 2 up. Now we're ready to tighten up the 2 top brackets. So to tighten these top 2 brackets, we're going to need a 13mm socket and a 13mm wrench. So the last step for this installation, after we have all 4 brackets tightened, is to tighten where they bolt to the frame. You're going to need an 18mm socket to tighten those up. And with everything tightened up, that wraps up our review and install. Check out more at AmericanTrucks.com.